Hello, you beautiful enjoyed people, and welcome back to yet another Bedrock Redstone basic video. And man, that sentence went on for way longer than a sentence should probably go on for. But yeah, I still don't have my keyboard, so if my controls seem a bit off, that's why I'm having to make do with a little wireless logic tech that I had laying around. But you don't care about that, you're here for the T flip-flops. Now, I did make a T flip-flop video. I think it was like a year ago, but man, I did not remember it being that bad. I mean, not even mentioning how bad my voice sounds and how much I've been blowing into the microphone. Yeah, the frame rate is just like, what is that? That's like 10 frames a second. I mean, I remember I used to play on that and it wasn't a big deal, but making videos, I mean, how does that video have so many views? It's like, yeah, it's just so bad. So I decided to make a new video so that people don't have to be tortured and watch that video anymore. If you haven't noticed yet, today we're talking about T flip-flops. Now, if you don't know what a T flip-flop is, I don't know how you found this video, and also I never noticed there's a village over there. But anyway, a T flip-flop is really simple. It's basically just turning a lever or turning a button into a lever. So as you can see, the lever, we can turn it off and it will stay off. We can turn it on and it will stay on. A T flip-flop basically does the exact same thing. We click the button once, it will turn on, and we click the button again and it will turn off. Now, these circuits are incredibly useful for multiple things. They're generally used indoors because, I mean, buttons look a lot better than levers for a door. So yeah, but they have a couple of other uses as well, but most people are probably going to use them for doors. Now, this, why am I saying now so much? Anyway, this design at the front here is the one that I probably use the most and that you guys will also probably end up using. And as you can see, we click the button, it turns on. We click the button again, it turns off. Really simple. So yeah, let's see how to build it. Basically, we just have a dropper facing upwards, a dropper facing to the side. We have this hopper feeding back into this dropper, and then we just have a little old comparator here to act as an output. Now, just remember when you build this, that comparators have a low signal strength that they give out because of just one item being used in the system. And actually, I never mentioned that. Obviously, you need to throw an item into one of these droppers. But anyway, as I was saying, the low signal strength can be a bit annoying, so you need to fit like a repeater in here, or the simplest solution is to just do this. Just pop a torch at the back here, and now the signal will just be inverted. So if the T flip-flop is on, the torch will be off, and when you press it again, the torch will turn on. But this way, you don't need to worry about signal strength and all of that jazz. Now, something that I saw in my other video about this design is people saying that it doesn't work. And as you can see here, it does work perfectly fine. Now, I think the problem was people didn't use a repeater here. Now, you need to use a repeater. You can't use a normal piece of redstone. As you already saw, it works with a repeater, but if we were to throw a piece of redstone on here, it doesn't really work. I mean, I genuinely am not 100% sure why, since this repeater will power this dropper and this dropper at the same time. And if we were to have a redstone dot like that, in theory, this redstone dot should power this repeater, and since it's powering this block, it should also power this dropper over here, but it doesn't work like that. You need to use the repeater. Now, next up, we have probably one of the more silly designs, and that is our boat design. It's really simple. All that it is a button on a dropper or a dispenser rather with a bucket of water, just three pressure plates like that, and a boat. We press the button, the water gets dispensed and the boat will float up. And if we press the button again, the boat will just fall down because we, what do you say, undispense? Retract the water? How do you say that? Anyways, yeah, it will just remove the water. Now, something that I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video is none of these designs are mine except for the very last one, but yeah, these are just designs that I have used for a long time, so I can't really remember where I originally learned them from, but they have been floating around the redstone community for so long, it will be pretty hard to track down the original creator. But anyway, next design, we have this thing. Now, it's basically just a block with a dropper and a hopper facing back into the dropper and a comparator. Over on this side, we have a torch with a repeater on 2 ticks and another torch and a piece of redstone on there. And of course, we have an item inside of that dropper. We press the button, it turns on and it turns off. Absolutely wonderful. Now, the way that this thing works is actually quite smart. So, when we press the button, two things happen at once. One is we power this dropper, which will spit the item into the hopper over here. But at the same time, we also turn off this torch. And after this 2 tick delay, it will activate this torch, which will lock the repeater again. But on the falling edge of the button, that's when the button retracts back out. This what do you call it? This repeater will power this block, which will lock this hopper again. And that little difference between this repeater and that torch is what allows us to transfer an item into the hopper and it will stay there, and then if we power it again, the hopper will unlock for the same amount of time, allowing the item to flow back into this dropper. So yeah, pretty cool. Now up next we have the only silent design of all of these. But yeah, as you can see, this one is completely silent since it just uses redstone torches and some repeaters and such. So the way that it works is we basically have a small little clock. That's the easiest way I can find to describe it. But the way that we build this is we have our input block with a torch, two repeaters, another two repeaters, and another torch, and just some redstone lines like that. And as I said, the way that it works is it's kind of a mini clock. So as you can see in this state, this back repeater will be powered on, but this repeater will lock, so we can't power it. But when we press this button, that front repeater will depower for a couple of seconds, and that turns off this torch, which in return also turns off this repeater over here. And when we press it again, obviously the signal will run out of this repeater, which will turn this torch back on, and the cycle just continues again like that. So yeah, this is pretty convenient and pretty cool to use. Now this last one I just threw in for fun because it is based off of one of my first redstone creations, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So back in the day of Minecraft Pocket Edition, when I started out playing, the resin components had just been added and there was just a few. We had droppers, or no, not droppers. We had detector rails, but a couple other rails. We had redstone torches and redstone lines. We didn't even have repeaters. That's how primitive it was. I think there also threw lamps in there, and that was about all the redstone components we had available. And that's where this thing came in. Since if you didn't know, if you open up a gate like that, it will allow the minecart to travel through. But if it is closed, it will stop the minecart from traveling through. And that is basically how this thing works. We just have a simple one-tick pulse machine over here with the use of a sticky piston and a observer. And that way we will open and close this gate really fast. And yeah, you can see it works. We just move the minecart from side to side, and then we just have a little old output at the back over there. So yeah, that concludes today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, if you have any questions or trouble with getting the things to work, feel free to leave a comment and ask. I'll try to help you. But yeah, if you enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like and to subscribe if you are new around here. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see all of you again in the future with a brand new video. Bye!